Lakeside Dental Clinic, Go Island, is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic.
You're watching Go Island Weekend Edition, and we are at the Parksville Museum and Archives, which is located at the Craig Heritage Park, just off of the Old Island Highway, where you can step back in time, in fact, all the way to the 1800s, to see what life was like back here in the Oceanside area around that time. On today's Go Island, we've got so much in store for you. Crystal Charlotte is a painter. She envisions peace and how life should be, and that's reflected in her paintings. Ray on the Plan had a chance to meet up with her. Also, there is a place where you can learn how to fix that lamp instead of throwing it out, because we kind of throw things out nowadays, but there is still value in things. And our volunteer, Fiona Shedden, had a chance to learn more about this Nanaimo place. And then there's this new type of currency that's around the world. It's called Bitcoin. What is it and how you can use it? And is it going to catch on? Dan Kahn checks out that and more. Crystal is currently fundraising so she can attend a summer painting session in Italy with some of the best painters in the world. If you'd like to help her out, you can check out her website on how you can do that. You can also buy some of her art there if you're interested. We are at the Parksville Museum at the Craig Heritage site off the highway. And speaking with us today to tell us all about this fabulous facility is Nikki Gervais, who is the manager. Now tell me about the history. When was this established, Nikki?
The museum was actually established in the late 70s. We have a beautiful church that was actually threatened with destruction, and it spurred people on to actually try and preserve it. So it was moved onto site in 1982, and that was really the beginning of the collection. We've now got at least 8 heritage buildings on site that have been moved from around Parksville area, as well as the main museum.
All right, so 8 buildings, and now they're all, like you say, heritage buildings dating back to, the 1800s? Or?
Yes, our oldest building is 1885, and then our youngest is the fire hall, which is 1942.
Now, in addition to the buildings and that, there are some things in these buildings. So it's a basically an interpretive kind of museum where you can walk through and kind of really relive what it was like back then. Is that right?
That is absolutely right. We try and provide an immersive experience for people to walk into a farmhouse and get a sense that they're walking in on somebody baking an apple pie, or a church that is just being let out. So that's exactly what we're attempting to do.
All right. I'm not going to give away everything that's here because we want people to come here because you are now open officially for the summer. Have been for about a month or so.
Yes.
So open, what are the hours?
We're open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., 7 days a week. No excuse not to come here. 8 buildings. You mentioned a farm life, baking, the fire hall, maybe a couple other buildings?
Yes, because Parksville is known for its tourism, we actually have 2 cabins that were used in a beach camp from 1930s to the 1980s. And we're actually sitting on the land that part of that camp would have been on. So yes, we have 2 of those buildings too.
Okay, it is well kept. It's very clean. It's beautiful. There's some really neat things to see, and I'm going to tell you more about those things afterwards. We're also going to talk about just a bit. There's archives here too. What's the function of that?
The archives is mainly about protecting and preserving any documentation and unique artifacts from the local area. Currently it is not open to the public, but it is accessible for research. So if people wanted to email us with asking about family histories, we're welcome. We're quite happy to look it up for people. So it is available, the information's available, but unfortunately not the archives themselves.
But people, if they needed a special picture from something,
yes,
they can come down and check it out.
Absolutely.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Those are good things to know. But also, you wanted to talk about some of the other things going on this summer, Nikki?
Yes, we've got a really busy summer. Our big event is actually on July 26th. We have Panther Valley Day, and it is a children's heritage event, so kids can come down. We're going to have a petting zoo and live music, face painting, and a host of other activities, many of which are inspired by history.
All right. There's still lots more to learn about what's going to happen here at the Parksville Museum at the Craig Heritage site just off the highway. We'll be speaking with another person about something else taking place this summer here. It's going to be a farmer's market. Tell you all that and more later on in today's Go Weekend Edition. And stay tuned. We'll have lots more for you to see after this. I'm at the Parksville Museum at Craig Heritage Park, just off the Island Highway, and I'm taking a stroll backwards through time. They have stuff here dating back to the 1800s, including equipment, farming equipment, plumbing equipment, pipes, mining equipment, you name it. And in some of the places, apparently there's some old clothing. Maybe you want to try some on. You have to come down here and check it out. It is a fabulous facility. Today on Go Island, we'll find out about taking pictures of nature. Raji checked out all that at a garden place in Machosen. And also rescue dogs that have returned into service dogs and how they're helping women and other people with post-traumatic stress disorder. And that was a story that Rayanne LaPlante did, and she'll tell you how maybe you can help them out. But first, though, a behind-the-scenes look at Vancouver Island University's Sturgeon facility, and they've learned all kinds of things, including how to cook this fabulous, big, huge fish. I'm standing beside a very beautiful old car. And the man who owns this car also owns a lot of other cars. His name is Pete Gagan, and this is on display at the Parksville Museum at the Craig Heritage Park. Apparently he has lots, but more importantly, or not more importantly, but for some guys it might be, he has 2 Indian motorcycles, and one of them was featured on the stamp, the postage stamp issued a couple of years ago that had motorcycles. It was one of his. We're at a great location. You got to come down here and check it out. On today's Go Island, we're also finding out about motorcycles. Rayanne LaPlante checked out Nanaimo Motocross Association. Apparently it's for the whole family, toddlers up to the old guys. Now I'm saying old guys, I shouldn't really. Apparently the biggest group is men over 50. But she interviews a young lad who's been doing it for the thrill of it all. And also we've got our Arbutus RV Island Adventures coming up just after this. Welcome back to Go Island Weekend Edition. And our second interview of today's show is to speak with David Haynes, who's going to talk about what's going to happen here that's special and also a first for the Parks Museum at the Craig Heritage Site. Thank you for joining us today, David.
Thank you.
Now, you are the VP, and you had an avalanche of an idea, I understand. What is it?
Well, it's avalanched mostly on myself. And that is we've got a farmers market that's going to be happening here at the museum. It'll be happening in our center plaza, and we hope to have about 30 farmers and about 5 artisans here. We're also going to have live demonstrations. We'll have 1 to 2 blacksmiths per time, plus a painter here full time. So we will
before you get on to that, I'm just curious as to okay, you got a perfect location for it here in the courtyard, which we'll show you afterwards. Lots of space, 30 farmers setting up. Why, where'd you get the idea? Like, all of a sudden you went, we have to do this.
Well, the Qualicum market had a waiting list, and as a result of the waiting list, what we did was we just said, hey, why don't we have a farmers market? And before I knew it, I was in charge of it, and before I knew it, it had been pushed into City Hall, and before I knew it, again, we were then making presentations, and it was just great because it pushed itself, and it really was an avalanche, and it was, as I say, a snowball, a small one that I tossed down the hill.
Okay. So all the more reason to come here to the museum. You can check out everything that's going around here. Kids kind of get bored at Summer Farmers Market, but they can look at all the stuff going on while the adults do the shopping. You said 30 farmers, are they local?
Yes, we're trying to go within 50 kilometers of the museum itself. We also will have all of the museum open during the farmers market, and we have some special exhibits that will be going on, such as we hope to have the steam-driven truck out into the plaza itself. We have a couple of collectors. We have things that have things like a 1914 Indian motorcycle and a 2014 Indian motorcycle. The one looking kind of like a bicycle with a motor on it, and the other being a big machine that is industrial.
Yeah, anybody who knows motorcycles, if you say the word Indian and motorcycle, you're going to have a lot of guys down here going, ooh, ah. So, that's a draw to get them down here as well, while maybe their wives or their partners do the shopping for them for the dinner that night, maybe. You mentioned also artisans coming here?
Yes, we'll have some artisans here. We've got we have a jeweler, we have a painter, we have a few others that have applied. We haven't got concrete everything as yet because we only just got approval to do this about 8 days ago. So we're scrambling to try and get all our people here for July 11th, which is our opening. That's a Friday night, and it'll happen from 5:30 until 8 o'clock.
And then the other days, are they always on a Friday, or what days are they?
They'll always be on a Friday, and we're having 12 sessions.
12 sessions, okay. You probably got a waiting list too, right?
Not yet, but it's, as I say, we've only had 8 days to actually get our people. So, but we've got actually quite a lot happening within the museum itself. We have a Facebook page for the farmers market, and we already have. It started on last Friday. We already have 126 people, and it's growing.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Good news for the area, looking for more farmers markets. Also great to support your local farmers, growers, and artisans. And if you want to find out more about that, you can check out the information on the museum's webpage. We'll give you that address. So thanks very much, David, for speaking with us and telling us what's going on. I'll keep reminding everybody of that throughout the rest of the show. And we've got still more to come, especially we have Todd, who's behind the camera right now, and Derek, another edition of Clocked, but that's not yet. That's after the next ad break. We're inside Montrose School. It's one of the old heritage buildings here at the Parks Museum at their Craig Heritage site just off the Island Highway. 8 buildings. In these places you can see old farm equipment, you can see the school, you can see an old church, and there's also some farm display things. Talking about farms, they are starting something this summer, July 11th. Their first official farmers market. They'll have them every Friday evening for the summertime, and you can pick up all your groceries here, from your local vegetables, your local meats, and even including for the first time, because it's now allowed, there's a new law, permitting beer and wine vendors, and they'll be local, and also a coffee roaster will be here. So you're all set, bring the buggy and make the rounds on Friday nights. Well, that's it. School's out. It's now time for Clocked with Todd and Derek, and they are looking for a park. Or are they? And Cappy Yates Park, that's where the boys just were, is going to be rejuvenated thanks to the Downtown Nanaimo Business Improvement Association, the Old City Quarter, and YPN. That wraps up things today for Go Island Weekend Edition. We've been at the Parksville Museum at the Craig Heritage Park, checking out all the old buildings and taking a step back in time. You really should check it out yourself sometime this summer. Thanks for watching.
Lakeside Dental Clinic Go Island is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic, a division of the Vancouver Island Implant Center, delivering dental services, including dental implants and sedation dentistry, all under one roof. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions.